Just like that, we back like cook. Never mind. Welcome back to Cooling Up with Coach Breeze, brought to you by ABL Beard Butter. I am, of course, your game day drip coordinator, Coach Breeze. Y'all, I'm genuinely curious, not just as a Commanders fan, but as a football fan, as an NFL fan, hell, as a former wide receiver, right? What are we doing with Brandon Aiyuk at this point? Now, don't get me wrong. He is well within his rights to be disgruntled, right? I understand. You play for a winning organization. You are the number one receiver on this team. You are one of the few focal points of this offense. But when you look around, you see guys like Christian McCaffrey get paid, Deebo Samuel get paid, George Kittle get paid, Brock Purdy will get paid fairly soon. And you're kind of looking like, okay, well, where's mine? I kind of led the way in the passing game all the way to the Super Bowl, and then we got the Super Bowl, and you didn't use me, and now you don't want to pay me. Like, what's going on? So I understand why he would be disgruntled. That being said, as I have said before, Brandon Aiyuk is free to hang out with whoever he wants to hang out with in his free time. That is his right as an adult human being in this country, right? The problem then comes when his best friend or one of his best friends is the presumed starting quarterback for another team, and he intentionally posts things featuring this person, such as a video saying the 49ers don't want him, such as going on a podcast and saying that he wouldn't mind playing with Jaden Daniels. He wouldn't mind being a Commander and mentioning the team by name. He wouldn't mind being a Pittsburgh Steeler and mentioning the team by name. Those are things that you don't have to do. Now, understand that this isn't the old days, right, where contract disputes weren't handled in the media, certainly weren't handled on social media. It's you and your representatives would go back and forth and negotiate with the team's representatives, and you either came to an agreement, you got traded, or you got released, or you moved on, right? That is not what this is. This is now the era of social media, and lots of things, unfortunately, play out in public. Understand that. Nowhere in that does it say you have to intentionally be petty and do extra things, right? So the latest chapter of this Brandon Aiyuk saga is Brandon Aiyuk takes to TikTok and posts a series of pictures, basically like what I've been doing lately. And it's things like him hanging out with his wife or fiance, girlfriend, I forget her title, pardon me. He's going on vacation and doing all these different things. And then one of these pictures in this slide, in this collection of pictures, is what appears to be a photo of not only Jaden Daniels, but Jaden Daniels at practice. Furthermore, Commanders practice film. Now, logically speaking, one of your best friends plays for the Commanders. If you're hanging out with this person, hey, they could just be watching film and you just took a screenshot. You took a picture of the computer or iPad, tablet, whatever he's watching film on. Also, you could just be petty. Hey, bro, send me a screenshot of your film real quick. All possible explanations, right? I think, social media has now run off with Brandon Aiyuk has access to the Commanders playbook, and why is he watching our film? I think they're going too far with that. They're reading way too much into that. I think it's just, him hanging out with a friend, him watching film with Brandon Aiyuk there and a picture being taken. I think that's the extent of it. But Brandon Aiyuk does not have to post that. So the problem is a lot of people are now looking at Brandon Aiyuk and saying, yes, you are a very talented receiver, but now you are exhibiting diva behavior, right? You're not getting your way, and now you're acting out, you're showing out. And that is a problem because you don't want that kind of attitude in your locker room a lot of times, especially from a position such as wide receiver, where receivers are already viewed as being divas and extra and all of that kind of stuff anyway. I don't think Brandon Aiyuk is being a diva, but the public perception is quickly turning to that. I've seen people compare him now, first of all, to Terrell Owens when he was going through his dispute with, I believe it was the Cowboys at the time. I've seen people compare him to Antonio Brown, when he essentially crashed and burned out in Tampa Bay and Oakland and New England, basically forced his way out of Pittsburgh and just crashed and burned ever since. Nowhere do I think that is the case, personally or professionally, for Brandon Aiyuk, but that's where people are taking it. And one thing you do not want to do as a professional athlete or celebrity of any kind is to be found guilty in the court of public opinion. Because once that is the case, it is hard to then shake whatever that new opinion of you is. So for Brandon Aiyuk, I would just, again, as I've stated, I don't think the 49ers want to trade him. I think while the Commanders would love to add a player of his ability, they don't want to give up what it would take to get him. And furthermore, because he's under contract, the 49ers do not have to trade him. Again, I've stated all of this before, and this is just fact. I think at this point, he's doing himself a disservice. And again, using the Commanders and Jaden Daniels as pawns to get what he wants. And now the trickle-down effect of that is people now looking at Jaden Daniels, who's yet to even play an NFL game, almost saying, bro, what are you doing? Like, you're adding to the problem. You're adding fuel to the fire. I know that's your friend, but you're adding to this scene that he's making. Hopefully, cooler heads prevail. And again, as I have already said, if Brandon Aiyuk wants to be a Washington Commander, sign me up. I am completely on board with adding that kind of talent to our wide receiver room, especially with a rookie quarterback that he's close to. So that's that. But I think all in all, Brandon Aiyuk has to chill out. He has to find some chill somewhere and stop growing a negative perception of him. Because if he doesn't come to the Commanders, if he doesn't go to Pittsburgh, if he doesn't get released, he has to go back to that locker room. He has to go back to that team. He has to go back to that city. So the last thing you want to do is burn those bridges, personally or professionally. So hopefully cooler heads prevail and Brandon Aiyuk can get all of that worked out one way or another, because this is, again, getting messy and crazy real fast. So, again, in closing, as always, thank y'all for coming to Coolin' It with your boy, Coach Breeze. Please follow, share, like, subscribe, repost, retweet, all that good stuff. And until next time. Go.